You've got to keep your mind wide open to all the possibilities. It's a good song. It's a banger. AnnaSophia, Robb. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to be talking about Bridge to Terabithia. Bridge to Terabithia is a 2007 theatrical release about Jess and Leslie who find comfort and understanding in each other and the world they create. It is directed by Gabor, Csupo, cinematography by Michael Chapman, editing by Gillbert, music by Aaron Zigman, and it's written by Jeff Stockwell and David Paterson, based off a book of the same name by Catherine Paterson. And when I tell you the summary for the book is the movie verbatim, I'm not kidding, because David Paterson is Catherine Paterson's son, and he adapted the movie. The film stars Josh Hutcherson as Jess, AnnaSophia Robb as Leslie, Bailee Madison as Maybelle, Robert Patrick as Jack, Kate Butler as Mary, and Zooey Deschanel as Miss Edmonds. Like I said, the screenwriter is the son of the author. The book was about him. Jess is based off of David Paterson. It's based on the real-life experience he had of his friend Lisa being struck by lightning and dying when they were 8 years old. Paterson had trouble shopping the script because no one wanted Leslie to die. They were hoping they could change it to just make it so she got hurt, but he didn't want that because it was what he had experienced. He wanted it to be that, and people were just sad about it. Paterson had a really hard time writing about Terabithia itself because it was way too close to home for him, so that's why they kind of brought in the second writer, Jeff, whatever his name was, Jeff Stockwell. AnnaSophia Robb wrote the director a letter saying that she loved the book and she loved the character and she felt very close and connected to Leslie, and the director casted her because of it, and everyone just kind of also agreed that AnnaSophia Robb was Leslie. She just fully embodied her. And Josh Hutcherson, I guess, wasn't their first choice, but when they put AnnaSophia Robb and Josh together, their chemistry was undeniable, and that's why they ultimately ended up going with Josh. Josh said he absolutely loved Jesse's arc. He thought Jess's entire story was so wonderful. They shot in New Zealand, and they did decide from the beginning that they didn't want to overdo it with the visual effects. They wanted it to kind of be placed in reality, so that's why they're all very like made out of the trees or could be seen to be part of the trees, for the integrity of the story. It had a $17 million budget and did make $137.6 million in the box office, which is very good. Has an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, which reads, faithful adaptation and powerful portrayal of love, loss, and imagination, which is so true. Cinematography is fabulous. The opening shot is a crane shot from the front where you see the truck up to the window where you see Jess. It is beautiful. It sets the movie up for how it's going to be and the success it's going to be visually, and then the effects are fabulous and based totally in that wood tree-like reality, and it's visually fabulous. I have no notes. I have had the soundtrack for this since this movie came out. Aaron Zigman really went off. Every time I go to my instrumental playlist, it is the first thing listed because his name is Aaron. So, and it's by artist name. So I always see it. I see it often. It's just so wonderful and beautiful. But then you have Hayden Panettiere, which is insane. And then in the credits, you got a Miley Cyrus song. And then the only time you actually hear Keep Your Mind Wide Open is like on a little radio moment. But I remember watching that music video and it was AnnaSophia Robb singing it. And I was like, this is insane to me. She's singing Keep Your Mind Wide Open from the movie. So, you've got to keep your mind wide open. I have a lot to say, okay? And I feel like it's gonna be so long, and I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try and make it snappy. Jess is our main character, and Jess has so much going on. And I think what I love the absolute most about this is it shows how much is going on in this boy internally. And he's young, and he's a kid. I'm getting emotional already. And it's so important because I feel like people, especially adults, can forget how they felt when they were kids and what they were aware of and what they noticed. And they just chalk it off as like, oh, you'll get over it, or oh, you'll grow up, or oh, whatever. But it's like, some of that stuff sticks with you. And if I could have heard this, or had this, or X, Y, and Z, my life would have been different. And some of my favorite stuff, storytelling-wise, Jess obviously so desperately wants a relationship with his dad that his sisters have with his dad. There's a scene toward the beginning where Jack is helping Maybelle with her purple flowers, and he's so tender and loving and nourishing and nurturing and just, oh my gosh. And Jess is watching from behind a wall, like longing for that relationship with his dad. Another example is his dad comes in to say goodnight, and Jess shares a bedroom with 2 of his sisters. He's got 4 sisters, by the way. He's the only boy, which at that time is not fun. His dad comes in, kisses the baby goodnight, kisses Maybelle goodnight, tucks her in, and then turns around to Jess and goes, "Lights out, Jess," and leaves. Oof. And then is just so hard on him. Where are the keys? Where's this? You draw me some damn money, boy. Just like, he so desperately wants a relationship with his dad. And then when his dad and mom get him this racing car thing for his birthday, his dad immediately is like, "It's a piece of junk that doesn't work. Keep the box and maybe I'll be able to take it back for you." And Jess is like, "No, I love it because it came from his parents, even though it has nothing to do with his interests." And then here is Leslie getting him art supplies, which is obviously very much to do with his interests. But think about the fact that you have this boy who is so isolated in a family of 7. He feels alone and isolated, which he never says, but you can just see. And then at school, he feels isolated because everyone treats him like he's a poor piece of crap and bullies him. This girl arrives. Not only is she his next door neighbor, but she is unapologetically herself. She excels. She doesn't care. And she's out there open to like building these relationships. And they find comfort and understanding in each other. And it is beautiful. And you know how I feel about kids being kids. And I think this movie touches me and resonates with me so deeply because not only is it kids being kids, but it's like kids being kids. They are playing pretend. They're building a land where they're able to process what is happening to them in the outside world. And granted, that's not how they necessarily feel about it or realize that's what they're doing, but like they just so happen to fight a troll and then they're like, how do we handle Joyce Avery's? You know what I mean? Like it's just, or the big scary dark master is Jess's dad. You know, like, it's just, it's so powerful. And then I think it resonates with me as well because I loved playing pretend. Playing pretend was my bread and butter. It was my favorite. And I also like felt like I was too old to be playing pretend, so I felt shameful for playing pretend. So like I didn't do it with that many people. But I loved playing pretend. Anything like, you know, like to build these worlds and have, you know, just escape yourself and be outside yourself. And so to see that portrayed so perfectly in a movie is so touching that it makes everything else hit so hard. The fact that Jess is very aware of his parents' financial struggles. I was a baby, a child, when I would hear about potential financial struggles or when I had alcoholic parents. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't an idiot. I was a kid. And I heard those things. And when you are a kid and hear those things, it just affects you. It makes you grow up in a different way. And you have no idea how many times I've got, "You're so mature for your age." Do you know why? Think about why I'd be mature for my age. And I feel like Jess just is so well portrayed and so well written. And his story is so beautiful because he finds something that not a lot of people can find. I was so blessed with so many friendships where I could find comfort and understanding in those people. And if I hadn't have had that, I can't imagine how I would be now. I would not be who I am if I didn't have my brother, if I didn't have Mariah, if I didn't have my unending list of gorgeous, beautiful friends that I was with through my whole life. There are people I am still friends with. From 3rd grade, Christine. From 6th grade, Carol Ann. from high school, Joanna, Bree, so on and so forth. From college, all these times I've made these friendships and they've been my support pillars, and I'm so grateful for them. And Jess had one, and it was Leslie, and she was taken away from him, and I cannot imagine in the same year being so alone, finding comfort and understanding in someone who totally, fully accepts you and understands you, gets you art supplies because they know that's what you want, plays pretend and builds this world with you where it is totally your guys' own, where you are the safest you could ever feel. And then she dies. And it is so sad. It is so sad. It is so sad. It's so sad. And the dad, I do like that the dad obviously comes around. The scene where he's holding Jess and he says, that girl was something to, like, she was special to you. It's so good. The scene where the monster mouth teacher, he punches that kid and she puts him in the hallway and goes out there and is like, I can't imagine how you're feeling. Because I'm feeling like this about her. And you were her bestie. And I lost my husband. And you get that? Oh, it's just so good. It's so good. Hi, we're bringing it around. I'm still crying. We're bringing it around to Josh Hutcherson. How he is not their first choice is beyond me. I want to know who their first choice was. Because he delivers. I saw this movie in theaters with my dad and Mariah. And I remember I didn't start crying when Leslie died. That hit me like a dagger to the gut when the dad says your friend Leslie is dead. Because I so was not expecting that, obviously. Who is expecting that if they never read the book? And it was like a dagger to the heart, and I was in absolute shock. I think I was having Jess's arc. Like, I was in absolute shock that she was dead. When he cries in his dad's arms, I remember sobbing. First of all, my dad didn't know what to do with me and Mariah because we were inconsolable. I vividly remember my dad being like, oh God, what have I done? I took them to see this movie and it's sad. And I am uncontrollably sobbing with him in his dad's arms because that's when he finally unleashed. So it's like I could unleash when I was a kid. And his dad, it's like also the release of like his dad finally like comforting him like a dad should and letting him cry. Freaking A. And Josh, I remember leaving that theater. It's early 2007. I'm like 12 or 13. I remember leaving that theater. I mean, like, Josh Hutcherson's performance in this movie was insane. He's a child, and he just put on a performance like that. That crying in his dad's arms. Oh my God. I remember being shook. And so how he's not their first choice was beyond me. I don't know. That, and then AnnaSophia Robb, this movie made me obsessed with her. I thought she was so cool. I thought she did embody Leslie so perfectly, which I think is a huge tribute to her, because if she wasn't like that, her dying would not hit like it hits. And then for this watch through, because I haven't watched it in a minute, I have seen it since theaters, but I haven't watched it in a minute, I was crying from the moment Leslie is dead until the end. It did not stay in until he was crying in his dad's arms, though there was more of it when he was crying in his dad's arms. It's just, their performances are so excellent. My favorite part has to be Jess opening up to Leslie. So it's not a part specifically, but just Jess finally being able to be himself fully and having, like, creating a literal land and safe space for him and Leslie to be fully themselves. Like, that is my favorite part, because you know how I feel, kids being kids. My least favorite part, Leslie dying. Oh man. And him going to the freaking museum with the teacher, which, by the way, I forgot to say it in the last section. The teacher taking him on a solo field trip? No way. That is so inappropriate, and no. I mean, I know no ill intent, and it obviously was fine. She took him home, all good things, but like, yikes. No way am I a parent that says okay to him going on a one-on-one solo trip to a museum with a teacher. I'm like, I'm coming. Like, there's no way. And then, would I recommend? Of course I'd recommend this. It's excellent. It's a fantastic book adaptation, though I haven't read the book, so what do I know? But it's fabulous. Would I watch it again? Of course. I've seen it multiple times since I saw it in theaters. I go far and few between because it wrecks me, but Of course, I would watch it again. Specific moments. The bus driver kicking Jess off the bus and making him walk home. No way. No way. That bus driver would be fired. There's no way. Absolutely not. The sadness and dread that washes over Jess's face when he leaves Leslie's house for the first time after spending the evening with her and her family helping paint the wall and everything, and he sees his dad's truck and he just completely changes. He completely shifts from his happy, like, open self to like his sad, guarded self. It's so sad. Oh my god. And then just all of it. This is just, you should see the novel I've written here. I have Jess feeling so misunderstood by his family and those around, finally finding connection and understanding in Leslie is so beautiful. And they did it so well. And it's just so touching. And who doesn't long for that? You know, like, what kid doesn't want that? Especially if they're feeling isolated in their home life. And, like, having a friend like that is the difference between, like, surviving childhood by the skin of your teeth and, like, surviving childhood, like, well, you know, it's just, wow. And I've said it a couple times, but, like, I think watching it for the review obviously makes me dissect it more than when I just watch it for entertainment. It just has made me, like, so grateful, first of all, that I have the parents I have. Did I have trauma? Of course. But I am so lucky compared to some. And I don't take that for granted. 2, I literally think whatever powers be that I was able to make the friends I was able to make and keep those friendships and have those people in my life. Some still to today. Like, I'm seeing my Christine, who I've been friends with since 3rd grade, which is 20 years, or 21-ish years now, at the end of the month that I'm currently in, which is May. I'm seeing Carol Ann, potentially, who I've been friends with since 6th grade, at the end of this month. I see Bree on regularly, who I've been friends with since high school. I see Joanna regularly, who I've been friends with since high school. I see Haley and Christian, who I've been friends with since college. And Janelle, who I've been friends with since college. I have all these people in my life, and not to mention my family, who I consider my friends. Mariah, Reed, Audrey, Aaron and Sarah. I literally will stop. I'll stop just thinking about how lucky I am that I had all these people to survive my childhood. And Jess only had one person, and she died. I know he's fictional, but he's not fictional because David Paterson went through it. His friend was struck by lightning. That's really sad. I really hope he had more friends. And, like, the movie sets up that he's probably going to be friends with Joyce, and he's obviously going to play pretend with his sister Maybelle, but still, it's not the same. Also, I just hope the dad really learned. You know, like, it kind of shows that he probably did learn and that he needed to be more sensitive for Jess, but still, you know? Still, that's gonna be really long and jumbled. I'm so sorry. That's everything I have for Bitch Terabithia. My final rating is 9. Crowns. Out of 10. Our total movie count is. Our cry count is. Parent Death Toll is still the same. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching when, follow me on Instagram or Twitter. You'll find out what movie I'm watching when. I put up videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday. Join Patreon. I got a tier starting at just $1 where you get every video a week early and a coupon code for merch, but tiers above that at the $5 tier, you get daily trivia questions. Daily. And the entire month of June, they are audio trivia. You guess the movie from the audio clip. And some of them are hard. So y'all should hop on there. The entire month of May was picture trivia. So you should also go look at that. Because that was fun. Buy merch. Merch is great. Merch is grand. This is a tried and true classic for sure. That's it. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe. But I'm not in charge of your life. You are, so do you. And don't be... I kind of want to say Jess's dad about it, because for the majority of the film he's... But also, don't be the rope that broke about it. I know I've gotten emotional in quite a few videos, but I think this marks 2 videos I've actually cried in. 8 Below and this one. They've all been recent, so I feel like it's downhill from here. I feel like I'm just going to start crying in videos.